Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 77, where we're going to continue to explore automating clusters and Cilium with Flux. When we last met in episode, I think 75. Oh, we got some feedback here. Hold on. All right, that should probably fix it. Check. So I think you can hear me. Let's turn my volume down over here. If you're on the chat, if you're on the recording, please let me know if you can hear me. I believe that you can. I just want to make sure that my audio is coming through okay. I think we got it all worked out. But if you're on the chat, do let me know. Otherwise, we'll just keep on going and see how things work out here. Okay, so it is a beautiful Friday afternoon. I am here in Virginia, Reston, Virginia. We just spent one of those Hive Time events here at Isovalent. This week's Hive Time event was for customer support or customer success team, which was an amazing opportunity to really meet with a lot of the great folks that I work with on a daily basis here at Isovalent, and dig into like how we can be better as a customer. We can be better at customer success, what's working, what's not working, all that kind of good stuff. So it was really a blast. I really enjoyed it. And we also got to walk the mall, got to see the Lincoln Memorial, again, got to walk around Washington, which was just a tremendous experience. And, it's a beautiful time of year to be here. It's actually, it's a little chilly, but it's not like too cold. So it's just a great opportunity to walk around. So let me get things started here. Give me 1 second. And we will take a look at the news. I started out a little bit late today, so you're kind of dealing with me being a little behind. eCHO News. Let's go on. All right, share my screen. And there is our eCHO News for this week. This one came out. We are announcing that we will be doing a CiliumCon at KubeCon coming up. So at the KubeCon Cloud Native EU, we will be doing a CiliumCon that will be held on April 18th in Amsterdam. So definitely come check that out if you're interested in Cilium and eBPF. It should be a blast. But this is the very first conference that we've had that is focused entirely on just like, Cilium users, so people who are curious about Cilium, people who want to learn more about it, all of that stuff. So if that's you, definitely check it out. Or if you want to present, there is a CFP that is open, and you can actually put talks in until February 5th, which is coming right up. It's already January 27th, so coming up real soon is the CFP will be closing. But if I would like to do a presentation on Cilium or anything else like that, definitely get that CFP put in there. We have a couple of really interesting technical articles. We have harnessing the eBPF verifier, a user space harness to improve the testability of the verifier, which is pretty cool. We have Firkin doing a thing called btrace, which allows you to trace a Python process line by line or the function's entries and returns with BPF trace. That's interesting, kind of a really focused on Python on that particular use case. That'd be a fun one. And then we have Stack PLZ, eBPF stack trace tool for Android, using Google Translate on the blog to find out more. AFXDP plugins for Kubernetes, a Kubernetes device plugin in CNI to provide AFXDP networking to Kubernetes pods. That is really interesting. Another really good use case. In the ecosystem, we have a Cosmonic user story running Cilium on Nomad for WASM workloads. Wow, that is a lot of moving parts. That was a killer feature. I've run service meshes before, but it's great to see. It's great, but that's yet another system to manage with Cilium. You just toggle that flag and you're done. Talking about Cilium service mesh. Very, very cool. Good to see that adoption. Have another light introduction to eBPF. Lots of really great articles out there this week. If you'd like to subscribe to this, if you'd like to subscribe to this and come check it out, you can always just go to isovalence.com. Or is it Cilium.com? Cilium.io newsletter. There it is. So if you go to cilium.io/newsletter, that's actually where you can subscribe to these and check them out on a weekly basis. All right. Now, when last we met our heroes. So we had been working on this notes, which was on episode 75. And I had shown you a pull request or a project that Stefan Prodan had put together that was called Flux AIO. And that's this project here, Stefan Prodan Flux AIO. And when we worked together through it last time, we realized, there are still a few pieces that weren't quite working the way they would need to work for me to really be able to make use of it. And so what I ended up doing was actually putting in a pull request to fix that up. So let's take a look at the pull request. 12 closed. And here is this piece. So I put it out that during the episode last week, we were trying to make some changes, or we were trying to use the Flux AIO stuff, and it wasn't working. So I had to add the hostnet and tolerations piece. It was interesting. These were the changes that I had to make to the project to be able to support it. And it's Q, so it can be a little bit hard to read sometimes. But basically, what I was adding was this bit here, basically ensuring that if tolerations were configured, that they would take place, and then also setting host network to true. And the reason these are needed, actually, was a great point that Stefan made, as I didn't actually explain why in the pull request that they were needed. But the reason these were needed was because in the scenario where you're going to deploy Flux AIO first before the CNI, then you have to actually understand that any pod, any workload that you would deploy into a cluster without a CNI needs to be able to tolerate the node not ready taint. And it needs to also, it can only work on hostnet because that's the only network model that is currently available when there is no CNI. Once you get the CNI stood up, then the CNI can stand in for that and make that happen. But until then, you're kind of stuck. You're kind of stuck because the only thing you could really do is hostnet. So that worked for us. This got merged, and he said thanks. And he also added an end-to-end test, which I have not yet looked at. I thought maybe we would look at it together. This PR adds an end-to-end test to verify that Flux can deploy a CNI plugin. Let's take a look at that end-to-end test. I'm very curious about that. So it's doing kind create cluster, wait 5 minutes. It's got a kind CNI, it's got a kind configuration that it's installing. It's doing the install of Flux. It's doing a verify, doing a Flux check, and then kubectl apply test CNI Cilium YAML. Which looks like that's actually just installing Cilium. Oh, I see. This is not just installing Cilium, but it's doing more than that. This is the Cilium YAML here. I get you. Okay, yeah. So this is the Helm repository, helm.cilium.io, and this is the values file, chart, values, LivePam, operator mode, Kubernetes. And then here's the kind configuration, basically disabling kind or disabling the CNI so that we can actually verify that it does it. So pretty simple overall, but that is now an end-to-end test proving that Flux AIO can install it. Now, another thing I noticed was that there is, that's the implement security profile. Update to Flux V038. What's this one? Restricted privileged. To enable Flux multi-tenancy lockdown, set security profile to restricted. Yeah, good point. All right. So all of that being said, let's continue with our work here and see just how far we can get with getting Cilium installed. It looks like Stefan is going to beat us to the punch. So let's get caught up here and see what we can do to make that happen. So let's go ahead and we'll jump into our machine as our environment. I have to shut down some OpenShift stuff here real quick. So vagrant status global status, is that what it is? There we go. Yeah. So I want to do vagrant destroy -f. Destroy those VMs real quick. I use this environment for a couple of different things. In this case, I was using it for an OpenShift cluster. And I think I've actually covered what I was doing here in the past episode, talking about how to install OpenShift and Cilium together. Pretty neat setup. Alrighty. And then we want to move into the KubeVirt directory. And if you're out there, definitely say hello. Always good to know folks are tuned in. Take a look at our install.sh. This was a change we made last time, was basically enabling that cluster resource set mechanism. That's fine. We're installing the Docker provider and the KubeVirt provider. All the rest of it is good to go. So let's just do kind get clusters. Let's see if we actually have any. We do not, so we do bash install. So we'll bring up our management cluster, and from there we will. What happened there? Cat install this. Oh, whoops. And create cluster config and mn no CNI. wait for this to get started up here, and then we'll move along, get some of the other work done. So this is just creating the base kind cluster that I'm going to use as a management cluster for the guest clusters that I'm going to create. And those guest clusters, I have two different options for a guest cluster to create. One of them is I can basically create another kind cluster using the cluster API for Docker interface. And the other one is that I can create a KubeVirt cluster using cluster API KubeVirt to do that work. Now I can do bash install.sh, and that will take care of the install. I'm going to run over here and get my iced coffee. I'll be right back. All right. Oh wow! Sometimes it's funny. I went to the coffee shop to get some coffee, and you can see that the person, when I told them my name, they thought my name was Ducky, which is close enough. Another thing I wanted to mention. You may have seen me tweet about this, or you've seen our company tweet about it. We're coming up on Security Day next week. That'll be Wednesday and Thursday of next week. I'm really looking forward to actually Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Sorry, wait. Well, one way or the other. Cloud Native Security Day is next week. Let's go ahead and take a look at the website for that. Cloud Native Security. Okay. So that is coming up February 1st and 2nd. Very exciting. If you are going to be attending, please reach out to me, and I would love to invite you to an Isovalent event that's happening in the evening. But yeah, let me know if you're attending. On the isovalent.com, I believe that we have information, or you should have information, events. That's a deep dive. There we go. So this is going to be our presence at Cloud Native Security Con. So we have a booth. It's booth G9. We'll be doing demonstrations of Cilium's Tetragon using security observability and runtime enforcement. We also are going to be doing troubleshooting with Hubble and Grafana. We have some book signings by Liz Rice and Natalia. So if you're interested in having a book or getting a book from us about eBPF or securing eBPF or securing systems with eBPF, definitely check out the book signing. It's going to be really fun. We also have a raffle for an Isovalent branded Bluetooth speaker, and we have shirts, stickers, and a lot more. So definitely come check it out. It should be a lot of fun. We also have a few talks put in. So it's always great to see my friend Nick Young, who will be there. He will be there. He's flying from Australia, and he's flying all the way from Australia to Seattle to give us a really great talk on a really interesting new project called, or a new option for security, make good neighbors. It's called Reference Grant. And the way Reference Grant work, this is a really cool one. It's the idea of basically allowing for resources in one namespace to access content in another namespace by specific grant, which means that you could have like the certificates that will secure your ingress controller, and you're allowing the ingress controller to access those certificates by grant rather than having to put those secrets where not only you, but also the ingress controller could see them. We have a talk by Tracy talking about the 4 golden signals of security observability. That should be a real blast. And then we have securing the superpowers. Who loaded that eBPF program? It came from Natalia and John Fastabend, who will be doing a little bit of forensic analysis and stuff. It should be a lot of fun. And then, of course, last but not least, we have a keynote at that event put on by Liz Rice, our Chief Open Source Officer. If you've never seen Liz talk, it's definitely an amazing thing to watch. She's always, all of her content is so approachable. It's really, really great. And I feel this way about everybody that we have speaking, but Liz especially is a really great one. So definitely come check that one out. That'll be in the morning. And then in the evening, we have this event, the Hive Mind Mingle. And you can register here if you'd like to attend. A little bit more about the book signings. So we have Security Observability with eBPF written by Natalia, and we have What is eBPF written by Liz. So definitely come check it out. Should be a lot of fun. It's like we're almost done with the install. Busy day for me. As soon as this event, as soon as our eCHO office hours is finished, I'm going to be jumping on an airplane and winging my way home back to the San Francisco Bay Area. So definitely looking forward to being back home. It's been a really wet season this year, so we've been actually having like a ton of rain in the Bay Area, and it's really been affecting a lot of people, like, in flooding in a lot of other areas. So pretty intense wet season this year. Waiting for the last little bit of this to get deployed. Should happen here pretty soon. My goodness, I wonder what the holdup is. Let's take a look. Oh, if I missed something, cd kubert Kernel logs -n. Operator 6. So we have, we didn't do a Cilium install. That was our bad. We've been sitting here waiting. I apologize. Nothing will start because there's no CNI. Oops. I thought I had automated that in, and I guess I commented it out. That's my mistake. Give this a few more seconds. We should see some real progress here. All right, Cilium is installed. And now if I do kubectl get pods, you can see the bird operator is running. That's what we want to see. On the deployment, we'll check out, and we can continue. All right. A few more seconds here. Let's see how we're doing. Okay. Handler is spinning up. As soon as that becomes ready, I think we'll proceed in the script. And there's deployed. There's our success. Now we're doing the cluster API install. So now we're installing Cert Manager. Okay. Let's wait for things to settle a little bit here. Looks like they're actually pretty settled at this point, so things are looking good. Let's go ahead and apply eCHO -f, copy Kvert, proxy YAML. We'll create yes, Kvert proxy, go proxy. And no proxy. It'll get this. Create our namespaces. Now we can go ahead and create the Kvert proxy. So we'll do that one. Machines -AW. Now this will go ahead and create our first cluster. It'll be running in the Kvert stack. It'll be running version 1.23.10 of Kubernetes. Let's wait for that to settle. And then we can do our cluster resource set and install Flux AIO, and then we can install Cilium in this cluster, and then I'll start looking at like what other places we can get, what other things we can do in this scenario, which unlocks a whole lot more information for us, which will be really fun. See, here at bpytop. There we go. There's our guest starting up. That's good news. So that should move to provisioned here pretty soon. And then we'll get to installing things on it. So I think I'm going to refer to the docs here. Flux. Yeah, there we go. It's a really neat project. Let's take a look at how we're doing over here. Looks like we're actually bringing up the machine, the worker nodes at this point. The control plane nodes are up. So we'll do kubectl get machines -n kbird proxy. We can see that we have the control plane node up. We're waiting for the rest. You see a PID for it, so it shouldn't take too much longer. Logs -n kbird proxy. I wonder if you can see the logs of a virtual machine starting up. Definitely see the calls from the calls for the creation of stuff. And you can see the command line argument that was used to actually do the vert launching. Okay, cool. It'll get machines -a running. And now if I do kubectl, so if I do kbird proxy, I do kubectl, no, clusterkettle get config -n kbird proxy. We'll just pipe that to kbird proxy config. Now if I move into that directory, thanks to the magic of dearenv, kubectl get nodes. There is our 2-node cluster. We can see that nothing is ready because there's no CNI installed. We can also see pods -a. There's no anything else in there. It's just a basic cluster API cluster. So let's go ahead and do the next thing that we did, which was move into the Flux AIO piece. Pull. Master main stash. Here. Okay, now the disk directory. Yeah, that's the old one. So I'm going to back up here. I'm going to do make gen. Deautomate. Okay. So now, so this is actually now the updated version of the process with our fixes in it. So let's go ahead and just pipe that to this YAML. vim dist AIO YAML. We'll look for deployment. There it is. We have our tolerations. Operator exists, which means it'll apply everywhere. And then we also have this network true. Good, good, good. All right. So next part we have is this CRS-Flux. What is this install YAML? Okay. So what we did before was we were using this cluster resource set piece. And so we would have to define a cluster resource set, and we have to define the config map that will hold the manifest. This AIO.yaml is our manifest. So the first thing we got to do is create a manifest inside of the target namespace so that it can actually handle the install of this mechanism. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll do kubectl create, actually Control F, Control R. Yep. C R. Okay, Control R. Save ourselves a little time in syntax. There we went. I want to actually put that into the Flux, no, the kvert proxy namespace. And then I want to take a look at this resource set, CRS. That doesn't have a namespace defined, so I'm going to put one in there. We're going to do kubectl apply-f CRS Flux -n kvert proxy. And then we will label cluster -n kvert proxy with CI equals Flux, because that is the match that we have. So this manifest here, what it's going to do is it will apply that manifest, that YAML that we just created, the AIO.yaml. It's going to apply that to any cluster that matches this label query within the search domain. So in this particular case, inside of the namespace that we're applying. Because what we noticed last time was the cluster resource set is namespaced. And just to reiterate how we can actually determine that, if we do kubectl API resources -- namespace, the cluster resource set is a namespaced object. So I wonder, kubectl. Anyway, so that means I have to have all the resources that I want to apply to clusters within a given namespace in that same namespace. Until we get to this resource grant stuff, which will be really cool. I think that's going to be a really big, helpful thing in the future, but that's what we've got at the moment. So let's go ahead and get this done. Kubectl, actually, yeah. Clusters, show labels, -n, kvert proxy. We'll do ahead and we'll do kubectl label cluster -n kbert proxy CI equals Flux. Now that is actually matched. And if I move back into the directory with that cluster, boom! It's so much better off than it was last time. Last time it was not running, and we couldn't figure out. Actually, we could figure it out, but it didn't take us too long to figure out why. But we can see that this time it is running and things are good. So at this point, we could actually even do something like this: Flux check. We can see that all the things are in a happy state. So the next thing we're going to do is very similar to what Mr. Stefan did to install Cilium. So let's go ahead and do that. It's actually in directory 1, Flux AIO. Pull requests. Closed. Add an E2E test for CNI with Cilium. Workflow he's got going on here. So we can grab this bit here, copy. Let's jump over here, and we're going to make a new directory. Manifests, and then we will vim Cilium repo.yaml. Paste that in there. Oh, actually, he actually put it all in one, which is fine. Then we're probably going to change that out later on, but that's fine too. Yeah, that's the kind cluster configuration. Okay. So this means if I go back into my kbert proxy directory, pods-a, Flux is installed. All the other things are installed, but no CNI yet. So if we apply this manifest, I think we talked about it before, but let's talk about it again real quick, and then we'll play a little bit more around like what will happen with it when it happens, when I do deploy it. So manifests. So this is an object type Helm repository under the source toolkit Flux CD IO v1 beta 1 beta 2. The name of it is Cilium, and it is going to be installed in the Cube System namespace. The spec, so it will check for new updates every 24 hours, and the URL for that is helm.cilium.io, which is all good. And then the next object defined in this list of objects is going to make use of that source. It's going to make a new object called a Helm release. The metadata will be named Cilium, and it will be installed again in the Cube System namespace. The interval for that will be 30 minutes, which is confusing. I don't know why that would be. I think that means it's going to do like a Helm apply update every 30 minutes, but I don't know why it would do that. But let's keep going. We're going to install the chart Cilium on any version with the source ref of the Helm repository for Cilium. with an interval of 12 hours. I want to dig into this a little bit more and understand exactly what's happening here, but it's all fine for now. And then in the values file, we're going to do IPAM mode Kubernetes, and we're going to have one replica of the operator, which is fine because we only have the one control plane node. So let's go ahead and kick that off. And then maybe we'll iterate on that a few times and we'll like add some other features of Cilium on top of it. So go ahead and get that going first. We're going to apply that object to our target cluster. And it saw it, and it added the Helm repository, and it's installing Cilium. Core DNS is up and running, which means to us that we have a working cluster. There is our working cluster. At that point, that means at that point we could do something like Cilium status. See that everything is running. We could do Cilium connectivity test arguments. Single node. Oh wow, you can't see me because there's so much sun. The sun is like totally blowing out my camera. What if I go like that? No. Go like that? No. What if I go like? Nope. Oh, that's a little better. Let me see if I can fix that. All right. There we go. Something didn't quite work. Let's take a look at why. Failed to exec TI Cilium tests. Client dash. The name server is 1095.0.10. If I do host google.com, oh, we do have a different problem. Look at that. Our DNS world is not so happy. Stay with me. It's always DNS. All right. Let's take a look at why that is. kubectl. Actually, if I jump in here real quick, I do ping. I'm routing. That's all good. So kubectl logs dash n. Oh, let's see. Cube system. DNS. See. Looks like the plugin's working. It's operating at least, but it doesn't look like we're getting any logs that are useful out of it. I'll get config map dash n cube system core DNS YAML. We are following to the seresolve.com of the host, so kubectl get pods wide dash n cube system core DNS. Both of them are on the control plane. Actually, exec dash n cube system. Okay, let's do this. So main oh nice. I'll get pods dash a. I'll get nodes dash a or dash o. Wide. See if I can SSH into this guy. SSH. What if I did back a directory, and then we do kubert. Oh, I thought I had a binary for this. Let's see. Where did I put the binary for kubert? Oh. Describe machine dash n kubert proxy. So this guy's able to get in there. I think what I need is the actual kubert binary. So let's try grabbing that real quick. So kubert. What I want is the binary. Docs. Basic use. All good there. interface, installation. That's how to install those pieces. Yes, yes, yes. But what I want is the binary. Where is the binary? Quick start. Sure. Yeah. Vert kettle. It's not called KubeVirt. It's called Vert kettle. Vert kettle. Haha. Okay. So then we will do Vert kettle. And we will do kettle console. And see. Virtual machine instance. A. There we go. It'll help user list. KubeVirt. See the virtual machine name, which is this one. Interesting. Console doesn't do it for us. The user list doesn't do it for us. What about VNC? Let's try that. That's probably not going to do it for us either. There's expose. Let's try that. Expose SSH to a virtual machine called myVM on each node via node port service, which is not particularly what I want, but let's try it. So it's called, suppose that one. 2 equals KubeVirt CE equals load balancer. SCP. Kernel. SH. Oh, we're so close. Oh. 1, 2. Not sure what the SSH password would be. I think I know a way to find out. Builder. Cat. Images. Copy. Admin. Secret. Builder. Oh, let's see. Password builder. Admin builder. So that's what it looks like it might be. So let's try this SSH again. Admin. So we have a builder user. Builder. Builder. That'd be interesting. What if it was vagrant? Vagrant, that'd be funny. All right, now we're going to break into a different set of category. Cat dot. Don't get secrets. And secret. Describe. Gene. It is. How? Hey, look. That's my answer right there. Kbert proxy SSH keys. Keep it all. Secret and Kbert proxy. YAML. EMS the pub. So if I pop this guy, copy, go. So we have eval. Agent. Add. Code 600. SSH. Builder at SSH. Try to use the key, and that didn't work. Well, I think it's 12:12, so I've been at this for just about an hour now. I'm going to call it here and keep going next time, but I need to dig into like how I can actually connect to this thing. That is the thing that's holding me up at the moment. Control plane, user data, -OEL. Put that into, that's a lot of user data. Go. -64 minus D. Name, cap K. Found it. Cap K. Oh, we have done it. Okay, what were we doing it for? DNS. Cat, Etsy, resolve.conf. Oh, it's trash, I tell you. Because this thing is using systemd DNS, that is the problem. Host, google.com. Yes, here. Okay, so the easy fix is this. Now that we know what that problem is, maybe we can address it. But for now, it'll edit. CD, Tabert, proxy. It'll in system or DNS forward dot. Still not working. I'll get pods. Pod session, cube system. This is running for 54 seconds. Recording this. Why do you do this to me, host? There it is. All right. We do have some problems here to solve, but the good news is we have used Flux to make a change to the cluster. So let's play with that a little bit more before we go. Edit. Manifest, Cilium repo. Vim, sorry. Manifest. Repo, and let's turn on some other function. Let's turn on the Hubble stuff. So Cilium.io. Hubble. I wanted to turn on in the installation piece. Getting started guides. Installation using Helm. I want to do a Hubble enable here. So the Helm side of things. So these are the values that I would want to set in addition to the ones that are already set, right? So let's go ahead and turn both of these on in our cluster. Okay. Go ahead and try that change. Well, apply -F. Manifests. Cilium repo YAML. Then we see that the Flux Cilium, the Helm release for Cilium has changed. Now we can do Helm history and tube system, Cilium release. So the upgrade went through. Kernel get pods -A. We see Hubble relay and we see Hubble UI. And all we had to do was make a change to that configuration. So very, very cool. Kernel those. And oh, I don't have a load balancer on here yet. Yeah. All right. Well, very cool stuff. But we have more to do. We have some DNS things to figure out. We have more work to do. I hope that you enjoyed this, and I really hope that you're kind of enjoying like following along on this journey. There's a lot to learn and a lot to play with, and I think it's a lot of fun. For those of you that will be attending Security Day next week, please come by and say hello. I'd love to see people when we're out at these events. Just be a real pleasure to see you there. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you in 2 weeks. And I will see you later. Oh, it's so blown out.